Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua Bashem, Rakakwadash, Shalom, to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there, Shalom to you all. I'm going to entitle this video, They That Have Wives Be As Though They Had None. So we're going to go into 1 Corinthians. We're going to start from the first verse of 1 Corinthians chapter 7. We're going to try to read the whole chapter or most of it. Let's see where the Spirit takes me. But anyway, I was going to different videos and so forth, and I was looking for, matter of fact, just checking. Yeah, looking for videos, and I ran into this one. There's a lot of videos of Jake men, telling the truth about really Jake women and women in general, but especially the Jake woman, that she's trash. She's for the streets. She's definitely for the streets. The worst woman that you can get. If you're gonna get a woman, the worst woman that you can get is that woman. You know what woman I'm talking about, But anyway, so I'm watching this video, and from the beginning, some 10 minutes in, I said it's time to make a video. You watch this video, you're gonna get mad. It's put up by a book of Alpha Rono Me. Was it Dr. BOA? It says 20 minutes of unworthy wives almost vomit when beta male husband tries to kiss his bride. Yeah, this is showing you that woman, if you go with that woman, look, hey, if you're in GMS, you shouldn't have that woman. You should not have that woman. Now, if you stuck with her before you came in, well, hey, do the best that you can. But if she commits fornication, which is adultery, was that Matthew's 19, if I'm not mistaken? Let me go to that. That's the only reason you can cut her off. And they're doing it. Trust me. Your woman been out there. Trust me. Let me see. I believe that's Matthew's 18, 19, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I'm correct. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. So there are dogs out there. They're for the streets. They belong in the streets. They belong in the trash can. All right, let me see. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I might be in the wrong. Okay, yep, I was right. Let me see here. Let me put this in red letter. All right here, 9th verse. And go to the red letter. And Yahushua knew about dealing with women because he had 1,000 women in his previous life when he was King Solomon. Okay, so you can see, as you can see, this is written in this red letter. Okay, the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made him male and female, and male ultimately has more multiple females. In the kingdom, the average man in Israel will have at least 1,000 women. You also have concubines. Unsaid, and all the women are going to be in order. They're not going to be stepping out on you. They're not going to be talking back to you. They're going to be in complete order. Now you got this thing going around where you have, I think it's one woman asking, what part are we going to play in the kingdom as a woman? Well, it's very simple. You're going to be barefoot and pregnant and happy. Barefoot and pregnant and happy. Okay? It said, fifth verse, for this cause shall a man leave his, I read that, cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. They twine, or two, wherefore they are no more twine, or two, but one flesh. What therefore the Most High have joined together, let not man put asunder. They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness, because you're wicked of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so. Back in the day, you go back to the turn of the century, before the turn of the century, the 40s, the 50s, World War I, World War II, during that period, you know, you had a mother and father and a grandmother and a grandfather that the grandmother, the father might die before the grandmother. The grandfather might die before the grandmother. See, back there they stayed together, and the woman stayed in the house. See, that being secretaries and going out and getting jobs, that created mass adultery in this country. If the penalty for adultery was applied right now, there'd be no flesh to save. You know? You got to think now, before a woman gets married, she has a bachelorette party, and she's getting it in with the strippers. She's freaking off, and the man allows that shit. That's why that bitch don't respect you. The best way to be is not to really have a woman, man. And if you got a woman, or more than one woman, she's got to be in complete order under you. And pursuant to the law, if she steps out on you, you got a right to take her out. But you can't do this in this society. So it's best not to really have a woman. It says, see, you got the IUIC pushing that you got to get a woman, and you can't have more than one woman. You got to have one. You got to have one woman. You can't have many women. If you have many women, we're going to kick you out. If you have a woman that doesn't believe, you got to cut her off or we'll kick you out. If a man has a woman in IUIC and he steps out and gets with another woman, he got a little side chick, they'll charge him with adultery. Now tell me if I'm wrong. No, Tar, we don't teach that. I'll apologize. Okay? But I believe Ayathun, or Deacon Ayathun, I believe he had a woman and he stepped out with a side woman and they charged him with adultery. I don't believe he slept with another man's wife. Now if he did, he's supposed to be kicked out of the school, point blank period. But if a man has a wife, they get married in the IUIC, and he steps out on this other woman, That's not adultery. Adultery only applies when a man lays with a woman that's married to a man, not a man having a wife and having another woman on the side, whether she be a mistress or a side chick or whatever you want to call it. That's not adultery. See, in Christianity teach that nonsense. It says, they say unto him, why did Moses then command, because of the hardness of your heart? So in the beginning, okay, this is the key point, 9 verse. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication. Now, these dumbass Christians, they'll say fornication is sex before marriage. No, fornication, the word fornication is adultery. And shall marry another, committeth adultery, and whoso marrieth her, is put away, committeth adultery. And she marry another, committeth adultery. Except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. Read that again. I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, adultery, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doeth committeth adultery. Now, if the man puts away his wife and marries another, he doesn't commit adultery if the woman that he's marrying, the second woman, right? But it causes her to commit adultery. His disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. So what do you mean by that? His disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. In other words, you might as well marry, because they know that women go off. So he said, well, the only reason why you can cut her off is by the act of adultery. And back during the time of Moses, during the time when we had our kingdom, you put the woman to death. Then he goes into eunuchs, right? Like Paul was a eunuch, but his thing wasn't chopped off. He was just, this Most High put the spirit on him not to have a desire for a woman, because he was moving in the spirit. So coming back to the IUIC, just using them as an example, not necessarily trying to bash on them, but they have a practice, which I said, you got to have a woman. If you come into this truth, you watch the videos, you decide to join IUIC, and you got a woman, she's a Baptist, and I used this example before, and they're gonna ask you, they're gonna say, well, brother, do you have a woman? Do you have a wife, brother? What's up? Which is none of your business. I ain't never lined up the brothers, the men, and the main camp. I said, how many of you brothers got wives? Raise your hands. Or why ain't you got a wife, brother? Or, it's none of my business. I might have said that in general, but not trying to get nowhere. So the ones some of the brothers have wives, and some of the brothers don't have wives. You know. So now, what do you do to, you know, relieve yourself? Hey, you can get, you can get with you can have a little chick on the side. Not married and all that. You don't got to live with her, but you got to watch out because she's probably gonna step out on you, or dealing with a pro, which is illegal in this system, and and it has nothing to do with morals. If they say, well, we're passing a law, you can't deal with a pro because it's immoral. Okay, well, wait a minute. Adultery is rampant in this country. Why aren't people getting locked up for adultery? The reason why they pass a law about being a pro is because there's money being exchanged and the government's not getting their share of money. That's why in Las Vegas it's legal. But guess what? Being that it's legal, them whole houses got to pay a tax. So they say, yeah, we ain't got no problem. You can do that. Get a license, and a license means that you got to pay a tax. You gave us jurisdiction. Now, if you go to Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, you can't be on the whole stroke because you ain't under pimp and he ain't licensed and you ain't licensed. So it has nothing to do with morals. So if anybody tell you, oh yeah, that was set up, for morals, it's immoral to lay with a pro. But like I said, if they will apply the law or the scriptures of the law of Moses, law, the Most High's law given to Moses, law, how about Shem Shai given to Moses, there will be no flesh to save. And all of us committed adultery, unless you married a virgin and she never stepped. And how do you know if she ain't stepping out on you now? Huh? Because women, they're like foxes, man. They'll step out on you. They know. See, you men you get caught out there because you goofy. You don't know how to do it right. But women, they know how to do it. They had this one video of I forget what the video was, but it was a woman that was a CO, and she had cut a hole in her pants so they could be easy access, and she was letting those inmates pop. She was getting popped from different inmates 10, 11 times a day, and then she would go home to her husband. There was another story. I'm thinking of the other stories. Yeah, these women, boy, there's all kind of videos, especially of the black woman, but all women, but the black woman, she's the most trifling bitch out there, man. The most street-made bitch out there. Because they can act like they're Susie housewife and then go out and be dealing with your best friend. Oh, but that's my queen. Yeah, that what? Look up the word queen. It means hoe. Queen means hoe. That's one of the definitions when you go into the root of the word. That's my black queen. Yeah, that's your black hoe. Anyway. Oh, going back to the IUIC, you gotta have a wife that believes. If she doesn't believe, you cut her off. You give her an ultimatum for 6 months. You cut her off. Like I said, if they're not teaching that no more, then tell me, Tahar, we ain't teaching that. I'll say, I'm sorry, brother. I'll take the video down. I'll apologize. So what the man does, the woman doesn't comply. She's a Christian, her mother's an Edomite, her father's Jake, a preacher, or whatever the case may be. And the dude just says, they got a good relation. They got a couple of young children. And he says, baby, I gave you 6 months. You don't want to be an Israelite? I'll cut you off. Then he packs his shit and leave. And she's all messed up by it. Might be 6 months to a year. She need a man, She needs bills to be paid for and all that. And so this she's working at a job, a man giving her a look. You know, she moves on. Plus, she's mad at you. And guess what happened? You caused her to commit adultery. And the woman that you get in the IUIC, for example, the woman that you get in there, most likely is she a virgin, or is she a woman that's been in the world, got a couple of kids, and then that's adultery. No matter what way you slice it, unless the man is dead. So you want to talk about keeping the laws? The laws are intricate if you get into them, man. Now, this thing, what you men having wives, you're going to be tested. Just like Job was tested. Job was tested, and what did his wife? He passed the test with flying colors. As Yahweh told Shatan, he said, look, have you considered my servants Job? Like that, they had a bet. Satan and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had a bet. He said, look, you can't turn him from the Lord. But they say that these idiots say that he was an Edomite. Give me a fucking break. The Edomite. The fuck out of here. With that Edomite nonsense, man. Job was an Israelite. Anyway, he gets his wife, the perfect wife. Yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord. You know, she prayed with him. She was the perfect wife. Had children. Was it seven sons and 3 daughters, 7 sons and 7 daughters, or whatever, which represent Israel. The 7 represent completion. So when he was tested and he lost his children, he lost his riches, he was down to nothing. Then he said, see, he haven't turned. He said, well, wait a minute. He said, you got to touch his body. He'll turn. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai told him, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but don't kill them. Showing you that Satan kills people too. At the orders, at the okay of the Father. You know, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And so he cursed him with boils. Now, I never had a boil, but I had a chick that used to get boils every once in a while. She would get one boil. And she, you want to talk about pain? So he had boils all through his body. Look up boil. Go to Google and look up the word boil. And that's like toxins it's like a volcano in your body. Your toxins, you get so much toxins in you that they got to come out one way. They come out sometimes through a boil. But he had his body was full of boils. And he said to his wife, he said, do we accept the good things, the blessing from the Most High, not the cursings? And his wife showed the true colors. She said, street vernacular, she said, F the Most High and just die. F the Most High and die. She said, curse the Most High and die. She said, F the Most High and just die. Because you ain't got nothing. And what did he say? He said, you sound like one of the foolish women, because he thought he had a real one. But he didn't have a real one, obviously. And he passed the test. His wife didn't pass the test. So now, all you men, whether you're in GMS or IUIC, when that microchip, and here I go into the microchip, because that's the major thing that's coming. Everything's going to be set up as digital, and then eventually you're going to get that micro C-hip. Trust and believe what I'm saying, all right? Mark my words when I'm saying. The number one group that teaches about the MO to the TB are the men of GMS. So when they have the breaking news and they say, well, you're a nurse, you can't work unless you get the micro C hip. You know, you work your government, you got to get the micro C hip. And then eventually it's going to go into classes. It's going to go nurses, doctors, police, firemen, EMS, post office, military, government. Then it's going to go to private jobs. Well, I work in a private job. You know, I don't, you know. You work in a department, what do you call it, retail establishment. You're going to have to get it in order to get in, to get your check, because you got to go through your micro C hip. Welfare, if you want to get welfare, food stamp, Section 8, WIC, whatever you get, you want to get a car, you want to register your car, everything's got to be done through that micro C hip. And like Aaron Russo said to Alex Jones, he said, everything's going to be in that chip. And if you got a problem with that, they'll turn your chip off. And that's the worship part. You want to do what they tell you to do because you don't want to get your chip shut off. So that's a form of worship. They tell you you got to defy the Most High in order to eat. So you said, shit, I don't want to starve to death. F the Most High. Right? Real talk. So some of you men are going to be strong and say, nah, I ain't taking it. But guess what? Okay, let's say you're strong and you say I ain't going to take it. What about your wives? What about your children? They that have wives be as though they had none. So you better consider what's going to happen. You might be the strong one. You might be the one to gird up yourself like a man. Women don't gird themselves up like men because they're not men. They're going to get weak. They start starving a little bit, you know. So this is what it says, right? I'll just jump around. It says now Eleazar, chief, whatever priest, Eleazar had made a statement. He was going into this, which he made a good point, you know, the other day, about a week or so ago. He said the reason why the Apostle Paul said it's good for a man not to touch a woman. Would you jump back to 1 Corinthians chapter 5? Matter of fact, let me go to that. Because remember, the Israelites of Corinth came out of that Hellenistic Greek philosophy. So they were passing each other's wives and shit. They were in the homosexuality. Men had long hair. Women were over men. Immorality rebuked. It is reported commonly, who's he talking to? The Israelites of Corinth, right? Which were in a heathenist state of mind. Coming out of that, it is reported commonly that there is fornication. Now, when you look at the word fornication, same thing as in Matthew's 19 and 9. That word means adultery. It is reported commonly that there is adultery among you, and such adultery as it is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. That's adultery. Yeah, but the Greeks say you can do as thou wilt. And ye are puffed up and have not rather mourned that he that hath done this deed might be taken away from among you, ultimately pushed out or put to death. The Lord says put to death. Verily for I verily, as absent in the body but present in the spirit, have judged already. So this is a letter. Remember, Paul was writing letters back and forth. These are epistles. So us doing the video, we're sending letters. Every time we do a video, that's a epistle, a letter. So you don't got to go to Paul couldn't go to all those different places. Even though he went on them journeys, we do it. We push this word more than Apostle Paul ever pushed the word. because this word is pushed throughout the whole planet through the internet. Have judged already, as though I was present. So he wasn't present, he was writing a letter concerning him that have so done this deed. Let me read it. Read a little bit more. In the name of our Kairos, the word there is Kairos, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, when ye are gathered together, and my spirit, with the power of our Kairos, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to deliver such an one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh. What is the destruction of the flesh? Death. Or to be jacked up, that the spirit may be saved in the day of Kairos Yahweh Shai. And that day is when the destruction comes. Right, then it says, your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. So the best thing to do is to keep people from committing adultery is don't even have the woman around. Now, Paul allowed the woman to come around, but he cut them up. You go to Corinthians. This is a lot of information in Corinthians because they were really going off. They were really going off. Okay, let me do this. Let me come back over here. Now concerning things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, nevertheless to avoid adultery, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have their own husband. Now if a man has more than one, if a husband has more than one wife, that's all right too. There's no law against that. And this is a believing man and a believing woman. So it comes down to right, let not the wife depart from the husband, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried. Meaning she can't deal with nobody no more if she's in the truth. Or be reconciled, come back together to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife, but to the rest speak I, the Lord. If any brother have a wife that now this is but to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the same thing applies to a woman. I believe that the IUIC, if there's a sister that comes in, well, they got single sisters. So now they're finding out that these single sisters are dealing with dudes in the congregation and not telling nobody. And when the man moves on, she finally tells the leadership, oh, this guy's messing around with this other girl. But come to find out, he just kind of dumped you because she's a little younger and he got tired of you. So there's a lot of adultery going on in that school because they didn't know it until she told. She wasn't telling them before that situation where he moved on. See, that's why here at GMS, we don't want no woman coming around. We don't want no woman coming around to the camp with beach chairs and all that. We don't want that. We don't have a school because you don't need a school. We got the internet, man. The brothers in the major camp, they live in various places, even outside of New York. Some of them from New Jersey, some from Pennsylvania. to take a long drive to New York, camp. Some of them is Connecticut, some of them is like I said, Jersey. Some of them are way upstate. There's one brother, I think he drives 2 hours, maybe more, from way upstate in New York. But he's always there, and he's there early. You know. But I don't want to know whether you got a woman or not. You know the scriptures. This is why we're giving you these epistles, man. So it's very easy. If you got a couple of women on the side and you get all messed up about it, that's on you, brother. You know, that's on you. Anyway, watch this video. I'm pretty sure you're going to make responses to this video. But okay, this is the husband. This is the woman. And at first, she's down there she's got her head by his penis. You know? And you got the simple ass man not doing nothing about it. Now they showed a scene where a group of Moabites right here. The woman was kissing another man at a wedding, and the men started fucking each other up. Will show you that you black men are not men at all. I mean, I didn't even get to see, I'm 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes in. I didn't even get see the rest of the video. But the worst woman that you can get is that woman. You understand? Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.